Shalom, welcome back. Part 4. Getting closer and closer to this time. This part 4 is called Recent Strategic Events from 1990 to 2019. Things that you would be more familiar with. This is more in your generation. But these things are a result of what we spoke of in parts 2 and 3. 1992, the 3rd to the 14th of June, in Rio de Janeiro, Argentina, the Beast in the Water, the United Nations, hosted the Rio Earth Summit. It created what we know now as a Commission on Sustainable Development. It developed at that time what is called Agenda 21, a unanimously agreed upon set of objectives and goals that each country on the planet must work to achieve on its national level. The goal is to have all of its objectives in place by the year 2030. The year 2000, September 6th through 8th, United Nations had an historic millennial summit at the UN headquarters. 191 member countries, that is the country where you live, the country where I live, and almost every country on the globe. Each one of these member countries from around the world, plus 22 international organizations, formed this millennial summit. They agreed unanimously again. This unanimous agreement doesn't it remind you of the Tower of Babel? One mind, one speech, doing whatever they want? Anyway, they agreed to help achieve midterm goals of Agenda 21 by 2015. It is the summit that defined what terrorism is based on. And terrorism, according to this summit, is any form of intolerance, whether in speech, writing, or any other form. So when we talk about equality and all of these things, this is part of the agenda. Part of the agenda of Agenda 21. Making right wrong and wrong right. Now, immediately following this summit, and in order to ensure those who attended the UN summit were still available, the World Council of Churches had its own Millennium Summit in New York. In attendance, including those remaining in New York after UN summit, were heads from various large world religions and Christian denominations promoting religious unity and tolerance. The Vatican and Lucis Trust, their representatives were pivotal in this spiritual conclave. They pledged to break down barriers of division, promoting those teachings that are similar rather than those that separate. Familiar with this concept? Ecumenicalism? Well, 2012. June 20th to 22nd, 2012, United Nations had another meeting in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, where the 1992 Sustainable Development Agenda was reaffirmed under the theme, The Future We Want. Yes, they said it. This is the future we want. And what is it? Oh, it's what we have right now. 2015 now. Remember, this is midterm. All member countries of the United Nations were told to advise their countries' local authorities to begin taking steps to implement the sustainable goals on all the local levels. Broken down? All the new attitude and the new agencies implemented from 2000 onward, especially in 2015, were implemented on the local level to carry out the agenda that was sent down from the higher levels for sustainable development. And your country's leader, regardless to which side of the thesis that they are, thesis versus antithesis, this is how your opposition and your ruling party works. Both work for the same people. They just fool you by playing like they are opposite and against, so they divide you, so they can control you. But any one of them in place has pushed the agenda of sustainable development, of right being wrong and wrong being right in your country, in your schools. Most of the pastors who are Freemasons are indeed agents of this agenda, and the majority of them are. There's only a few who have not been initiated into the Luciferic initiation. 2016, 1st of January, Sustainable Development Goals came into force, projecting goals to be accomplished over the next 15 years. There are 17 goals and 169 targets that each country must achieve by 2030. It also began the road to unity, which will culminate, brothers and sisters, in the year 2020, in September. Now, we move forward to 2019. 2019, the emergence of the novel coronavirus. Targeted place of release, Wuhan province, China. Somewhere between August and September of last year. The biological agent that has found its way around the world. Brothers and sisters, everything has been planned and orchestrated. Everything that we're seeing now is a setup. People are focused on COVID-19. It's like looking at one, I can't even say a tentacle, one hair on the back of the pig, without realizing that that is a hair on a pig. Step back, that's what we're doing, and we're looking at the whole pig and where that piece of hair fits in. Yeah, I use the pig because it's unclean. And what's going on now? It's unclean. When you get caught up in the disinformation and the misinformation which is being put out by the very people who control the media outlets, who've already ran their experience through Orson Welles and knows how effective it is. And you know how effective it is too, just look around you. We are zombies. There are people throwing out movies from 1970s and so on and so forth. Yeah. Oh, they said that back then. Of course they said it back then. They knew the plan back then. And they were bringing the plan forward. Those movies were to make you aware of what is to come, so that you wouldn't be shocked when it happened, but rather focus on that rather than what they're doing then. That's what they're doing now. That's why everybody coming to all these movies, Nostradamus and so on and so forth. They're taking your mind, they're taking your eyes of what is actually going on. But I'm speaking to the children of Yahweh. The Ruach HaKodesh in you can give you the insight that you need for right now. If you would take your eyes off that little hair on that unclean pig, step back, look at the whole pig, the rest of the hair, the snout, the feet, the little tail, the big belly, and see the abomination for what it is. We have come to the end of part 4. Okay? We'll be right back. Take a little break.